So you're training hard, you're eating clean, you're putting in the work in the gym, you're getting high protein, you're lifting heavy, but for some reason your gains have stalled. Today we'll be talking about 4 biggest mistakes keeping you stuck at the intermediate level of muscle and strength development. The very first reason is that you are practically overtraining, and more importantly, you are training to failure too often. So you notice that some workouts feel great, other workouts just feel like trash, and you are groggy and drained throughout the whole session. So essentially, there's no consistency in your strength development and your performance as well. And that's because you're training to failure every single session, which is practically frying your central nervous system. It's making it harder for your body to recover and adapt to the stimulus that you're putting on it. So basically, what you're going through is a nervous system fatigue, which is taxing your nervous system, causing it to go into overdrive, which is slowing down recovery and your progress rate. Also, you're definitely going to be witnessing some level of inconsistent output, and you are practically always going to be in some form of a recovery debt, because instead of it to probably take you 48 to 72 hours to recover, maybe your muscles would have recovered as at that 48 to 72 hour mark, but your nervous system will still be drained and still need extra time. And so that's one very important mistake people are making. What you need to do is to train close to failure intelligently, a rate of perceived exertion, that's an RPE of about 8 to 9 reps. So essentially you're leaving 1 to 2 reps in the tank on your big lifts, your max lifts, your heavy lifts, and then you're controlling the volume, tapering it up and down as and when the need be. So you're having a mix of some high intensity workouts, and then you're supplementing those workouts with submaximal workouts, submaximal lifts, just to grease the groove and get you more effective and efficient at those particular lifts. The very next reason for why I believe most people are still stuck at the intermediate level of muscle and strength development as naturals is that they are not tracking their lifts or sticking to a program long enough to actually get the results that they want. If you don't log your lifts, you can't even tell if you're actually progressing on that particular lift. If you don't remember what you lifted the last time versus 2 weeks ago versus 4 weeks ago and all of that, if you're not following a structured progression scheme, and if you're not tracking those lifts and adding weights to the bar or adding reps or changing the cadence, slowing it down or pausing the reps when it gets hard before you increase the weight, because I typically tell people to master a particular weight. If you are benching 205 and you move from 205 for 5 reps to 8 reps, you don't have to always increase the weight to show progressive overload. You can now start pausing the reps and try to get to 8 reps on 205 paused, 1 second pause at the bottom. That way you've mastered the weight, and the weight basically becomes something that's very easy to you, and then you can increase. So the main tip here is to follow a structured program for at least 12 weeks, at least 3 months, and then make sure that during that time you're tracking every single workout and you're keeping the exercise selection the same, spot on. Perform the same exercises with the same cadence, with the same technique over the course of 12 weeks. Track your progression and you're definitely going to see changes. Pick a progression scheme that you like. It could be dual progression scheme, it could be reverse pyramid training, it could be traditional pyramid training. Just pick something, stick to it, execute and log your workouts, and you would see a difference. The next reason that I feel a lot of people are stuck at intermediate level as well and not being able to get to their most muscular physiques and strength development is the fact that I noticed that a lot of people are focused heavily on being shredded. Now, the thing is, there's no point being shredded and being weak, in my opinion. I don't find it something that is worthy of the trade-off. I feel and I strongly believe that every individual should strive to maintain a lean physique, a lean and muscular physique, but being in shredded territory 24/7, if you're not naturally predisposed to be that way, is going to shoot you is you just practically shooting yourself in the foot as far as being somebody who has strength and muscle building goals. If you are staying too ripped all the time and you're having to force it, bear in mind, there are people who could stay 6, 7, 8% body fat year round because their genetics allow them to. They don't even have to diet or track their calories or do whatever. Most of them don't even strength train. I personally know people who are very, very low body fat percentage naturally. They have zero appetite on a day-to-day basis and they are just ripped without trying. But the vast majority of people have weight management issues. And if you're one of them, if you're just like me, and you are constantly trying to be in a calorie deficit, you're constantly eating below maintenance calories, never dipping your toes into an energy surplus because of a certain image you want to have of being absolutely ripped all the time, you are not going to be your very best with regards to how much muscle and how much strength that you can develop over time. So I say that for most men, try to stay in a range that is healthy for you hormone wise. Try to stay between, on the very low end, 10%, and then up to about 18 to 20% maximum, and then you cut it off there. Because honestly, it rubs me the wrong way when I see dudes who are in their late teens and early 20s trying to put on muscle and being so focused on being crazy lean all the time. It's just like you're chasing two rabbits, and essentially you catch none at the end of the day. I think that's the saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the point being that when you are so focused on being ripped, muscle and strength development takes a backseat, especially if you're somebody who is trying to maximize their gains. If you've already built up a very solid base of strength and muscle mass over the course of the years, and if you're pretty close to your genetic potential with regards to muscular development and strength gains, then you can actually pivot and now focus primarily on being lean or leaner. So essentially you can focus on being 10%, even 9 or 8%, just because you have the muscularity to show off, the physique as a whole. But if you barely gained 10 pounds of lean mass as a trainee and you're trying to be ripped, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So try to be in an anabolic state, either at maintenance or in a slight surplus for the majority of the year. 9 months out of the year, 6 to 9 months out of the year, try to be, eating well. And then spend 2 to 3 months cutting down if you noticed you've gained much more body fat than you would like to see. The last point is that you lack patience. Basically, one thing I find funny is that for many intermediates, they expect beginner level of progress at the intermediate stage. You're trying to make gains super fast and add 10 pounds every week to the bar. That's not going to happen. If you're truly intermediate, you should be adding 5 pounds, either once a month or maybe every 3 weeks if you're lucky. Okay, so don't expect beginner level of progress at the intermediate stage. Be patient and be understanding of the fact that these things take time. Muscle gain and strength gain takes time. These adaptations take time. Your body has to adapt. And so focus on the long-term progress and celebrate every 5 pounds that you're able to add to the bar. Let me know in the comment section which of these mistakes that you're guilty of. Like the video and subscribe if you liked it. Catch you guys in the next one.